I'm in the basement of a home that needs a water line added to a barn that was built. We're going to hook up the water line in the utility room, run it up the wall, into the ceiling, across the ceiling, down the outside wall, to tie into a line that was trenched out to the barn. First thing we're going to do is shut off the water. This hose bib is the lowest faucet on the house. I'm going to open it up and drain the water lines. I also have a whole house water filter. The water that's left in the lines I can drain out through here. To do this project, we're going to need a ratcheting PVC cutter, a PEX crimp tool, some crimp rings, universal pipe clamps, and some fittings. I'm going to put a shutoff valve in the utility room so the water to the barn could be shut off at any time and you can continue to use the water in the house. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is cut the 3/4 inch water line. You want to make sure to get a nice square cut. Next, I'm going to put this T in so I can get my shutoff valve and then the line up and out to the barn. So I pushed this line up as much as I could in case I ever need a little extra line. And that'll fit down in that pipe, and then I'll mark this pipe. Well, actually, I'm pretty close there. But I'm going to take a little bit off this pipe so I can get it on. One thing I want to show you on these ratcheting tools, depending upon what kind you get, to open them back up, you push these wide apart and it opens it back up, and then it ratchets closed. Next thing you want to do is put one of the crimp rings on. Pull that down. Put the top one on too. Put that up. Now we'll put the T in. It just slides in. And the top, I'm going to try to push it up a little bit. There we go. And then slide it down. Pull the rings down, and you want an 1/8 to 1/4 inch gap in there to crimp those. You don't want it all the way up. Now before we crimp these, you want to make sure that you've got a real nice line for your connection. If you crimp it down and it's facing over that way, you can't move it. There's various crimping tools. I bought this because I don't do a lot of this and it was inexpensive. But sometimes it's hard to get into places. So I'm going to do 3/4 inch crimp, open it up, and I'll have to slide it in like this. You want that ring right in the middle of the tool, and then like I said, 1/8 to 1/4 inch. Put it on there. And then I squeeze it by hand to get it started, and that'll hold the ring in place. And then I grab my vice grip, put it on the end of this, and close it down. And I got it closed all the way. Take the vice grip off. I can pull this off. Now they recommend you check these crimp rings to make sure that you got a good crimp on. So there's a gauge, a no-go and a go gauge. And you're supposed to stick this on there. And here's the no-go. And I don't know if you can see that, but there's a gap in here. Meaning it's not warped. and then I'll check with the go gauge, and you should have a real nice snug fit, which I do. No gap. It's a good snug fit. So that's good. I'm going to set my shutoff valve kind of in the middle here. So I'll line this up with that. Put that about there. And I've got a visual mark. So I'm going to cut this here. Now we're just dry fitting things, but I'll put the shutoff valve in. And then I've got my 90-degree angle. And I'll put that up here. And I can mark this cut. And cut it. Now I'll put another ring on. Slide that on. Got it all lined up, dry fitted. And we're ready to crimp them all. Now before we go any further, I'm going to turn the water off, turn the main valve back on, and make sure I don't have any leaks. And everything's good and dry, so we can move on. Straighten out the pipe. Make sure you have your crimp ring on and slide it on the elbow. And I'm going to get it straight. Slip the ring down. Now you want to make sure that, especially on an outside wall, you keep them towards the inside so they don't freeze. But also, you got to stay back so that the drywall screws don't hit the water line. And now for the final hookup in the house. Gotta go. And a go on that. And the no-go doesn't fit. No-go doesn't fit. We're good to go there. And I set it back far enough so that drywall screw or whatever won't hit it. But I'm far enough this way that I can get insulation in there and it won't freeze. Now we'll turn the water on and check for leaks. We already checked this area. Good and dry here. We'll go over and check our one other connection. And we're good and dry here. So we're good to go. With everything secured, we can reinstall the insulation. And you can see I've got the water line to the inside of the insulation. to keep the cold air from freezing those pipes. We'll staple the vapor barrier back up, and that's how easy it is running a new water line using PEX. If this video was a help to you, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I look forward to helping you with other projects online.